Hi, I'm Justin.
Also, I hate the way my voice sounds, so if you can do whatever Photoshop does to voices, make me sound awesome.
And this is my lovely friend,
The beauty in the eyes of the beholder, and it's just about getting into the seat of being the beholder.
Hayley.
I don't think you have to be particularly perceptive. I just think you have to look up.
This podcast is mostly just her telling me stories.
If you expose yourself to the possibility that this might be really awkward, there can be something just really cool on the other side of it.
She thinks that her life and way of looking at things are
Oh, I was kind of waiting on you. I thought you were getting your stuff ready. You're waiting on me?
pretty normal.
You got to edit out all the misinformation about the Amish.
Maybe you can relate.
I would like a chance to re-sing the Amish Paradise.
If you want lighthearted stories
All right, you want to talk about goats?
and stream of consciousness,
I just woke up and needed some friends, and so I bought them.
then you're gonna like the Sunny Side Up podcast.
Sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up.
So, if you're at all like me, you may feel that you're living in a world that can be a bit overwhelming and confusing at times. I'm also a huge fan of podcasts, documentaries, docudramas, stories, and of just information in general. Between all of that and the social media and news, sometimes our brains can feel like they're on overload. Hayley and I hope that this podcast can be something of an antidote to all of that. Like little jello shots of joy and distraction. None of it is too serious or really too informative. Mostly it's just two friends who have conversational chemistry talking about whatever enters the minds of relatively ADHD people. We hope you enjoy.
Did I tell you his love story? This isn't obviously to go out to the airwaves because he may actually hear it, but and his girlfriend broke up, and they had always decided when they grew up and they retired that they were going to...
We can tell all the stories as long as you just I have a friend...
whose name is Moose.
Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell all the stories. You just can't use their real names. Names have been changed to protect the guilty.
Well, one of these kind of relates to him, but they broke up, and he was so sad. He called me from, Kentucky, and he was like, I just need to talk to somebody who has survived this. Am I going to live through it? And I'm like, okay. But they had this plan where they were going to get married and live and work hard and then eventually retire to the islands. And when they broke up, and he's just so sad. And I was like, hey, part of what you're sad about is giving up those dreams too. And you don't have to give those up. She may not be in the story, but you don't have to give up the big hopes and dreams. So I was like, just keep the dream. Keep moving towards working in the islands. You don't have to wait. And he sold everything.
Probably need to bring that a little bit closer.
Sold everything in his house and moved to St. Croix, right?
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this was 6 or 7 years ago. Immediately after he gets there's 2 Category 5 hurricanes that pound Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, and it's difficult, and he's there to help rebuild, and he kind of rebuilds himself. This year they got back together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, neither one of them has gotten married or anything in the meantime. It's been 6 or 7 years. She bought him a ticket to come back and visit his dad, and he did, and then he extended his stay a little bit longer, and then she went back to the islands to visit him, and they took a vacation together. Is that not
That's
a rom-com?
precious.
I just wanted you to know that seems to be doing well.
Gosh. See, these are great stories. You just remember.
That's not our story to tell. We can't tell
it's a friend. These are great stories. All right. Oh, she's making important notes.
Well, here, we'll just go through the phone. I don't have to write them all down. But
I'm good with both. But we're going to start with, how great is it that we're finally back together again in the same, tiny little dirty room where we record podcasts?
It's not that dirty. He cleaned it.
Well, I love that your comment was, wait, this is cleaned? It was so honest.
No, not because I was surprised that you thought this was clean. It surprised me that it had been cleaned because I didn't realize that it had been dirty.
You cannot worm out of this one. All your lawyering skills are not going to get you out. When I mentioned that I cleaned the office, you were shocked. So there was definitely that look passed over your face this is the clean version, which I love that. Yeah. Hey, just own that.
I don't think anybody should get to tell you that your workspace is dirty. how are you supposed to have a creative process whenever people are trying to make you put your things in certain order? It's like, no, the chaos is.
And I mean, if you look around, I've got a voluptuous. It's basically a cup from Nicaragua that is a very voluptuous woman, basically boobies to tummy. Would you say? Is that about what that is?
I'm not seeing.
Hard to say. I've got a. Who is my guy? Mr. Rogers. I have a little thing here. Listen, just for the audience. Mr. Rogers is one of my heroes. And so sitting on my desk is this little figure, and when you push it, it'll say random stuff. So who knows what Mr. Rogers is about to tell the audience.
Do you have some favorite neighbors where you live? I mean, real neighbors with whom you can talk and play and ask for help if you need it? I hope so.
Okay, see? So if I ever need like a little inspiration...
God,
and
what a treasure.
a little love in my life. Yeah, I just talked to Mr. Rogers. I've got a plant that I probably water. Ollie is... What is she?
Hand it to her. She wants to see Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers so I can get pictures.
Oh, you want to hold Mr. Rogers? The behind the scenes, yeah. Ollie is trying to take pictures of this mess. Anyways, yeah, and multiple candles. Joshy's remains. Goodness gracious. It's got a little bit of everything around here. So anyways, and it's all on my desk. So, yeah. And that doesn't even count all the stacks of bills, notebooks, the computer, all the stuff. But one thing that I have improved is this desk is now a full-on, like you touch the button, and it goes, because I mostly stand at this desk. When I'm editing, it's a standing desk, and it's programmable. So... the 2 setting is us sitting down. The number 1 setting is me fully standing.
Do you want to stand up?
No. You sit to... there's rules to this. You sit to podcast. You stand up to edit. So, yeah.
It'd have like a water cooler feel if we upped it.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen. I'm listening to some of the first season, and I would... since the time that we had those conversations, I've come across good articles or information that either confirmed or denied or supplemented what we were talking about in certain ways.
Right.
I wish I'd been keeping a better list of it. Sometimes I would send you the articles, but one that I know of off the top of my head, and I have to tell you about it.
Okay.
The life advice was if you don't have your high school diploma, just lie about it. Don't let that get in your way of success.
Solid advice.
Okay, a friend of mine had a job applicant come into their place of business, apply for a job, and they had some suspicions that maybe he didn't have his high school diploma, and they vetted it, and he didn't. But he had multiple jobs during this time, like 10, maybe 12 years of successful working, and some of them at the state level. He was working for the state, and nobody ever checked his, and the only reason that this company checked it, and it's not a company, but the only reason that this place checked it was because they were the ones who should have issued his GED in the first place, and his teachers were like, cool, he didn't finish while he was here, but now he's back to work here, which means he must have finished after he left. What a great success story. And in fact, he did not complete his GED. He just found the loophole and had been living there and would have continued to live there successfully for the next 10, 12, 15, however many years.
Retired.
Had he not gone back to the same place.
That's ballsy, by the way, to go
flew
back.
too close to the sun.
You flew too close to the sun,
You would have been so fine if you had just stayed in your lane outside of the scope of your GED instructors. Why did he do that? But the bigger picture being that you can, in fact, have a successful career.
For all the underachievers out there,
there's hope.
There's hope,
I mean, just mind your business. Don't go applying to the people who know. Like, don't go back to your high school that you dropped out of and say, I'm back.
I'm back.
I want to run this place, because then they might check into it. But,
Hello, lovely friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And it would mean the world if you would tell other people about this podcast and maybe even spam your social media accounts with just how much you're enjoying it. If you are, of course. Also, commenting and rating us on whatever platform you're downloading or streaming from is incredibly helpful to a little startup podcast like this one. On the other hand, if you are dissatisfied with your listening experience, please leave all of that hate on someone else's podcast. Just maybe to confuse them a little bit, right? But most of all, we hope you keep looking up and looking for the sunny side of life.